Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I am in Kent in the Little Owl Hide that I am running workshops from for the week. But today I've got a day off to do some of my own photography and I am joined to my left by Mr. Andy Green.
Hello!
The plan, really is obviously to get some photos of said little owls, but I'm still putting, if you can see, my big white lens through its paces to see how it performs. I've used it maybe 2 or 3 times at the moment and currently very pleased, but we'll see what kind of shots we can produce today. I'll show you out there, see what we're pointing at, and yeah, hopefully get some footage and photos of little owls and all the other garden birds that are flying around. I don't know if you can hear, but there are an awful lot of starlings this morning. Lovely. The owl is out.
Beautiful.
He's on his favourite stump.
What a dream to have these in your garden.
I know.
I mean, it's just extraordinary to be so blasé about it, really. Beautiful little thing.
I just love the little feet as well. And we've been, over the last 3 or 4 days witnessing behaviour that I've never ever seen before, or didn't even know the little owls exhibited. So, as you've seen, there's a lot of garden birds here being fed. And this little owl seems to have turned into a sparrowhawk, because for the last 2 or 3 days, it's just been going after these little birds constantly. Bear in mind that there's food that we're putting out morio worms for it. But the instincts of hunting is obviously very strong in this bird. I'll hopefully be able to get permission to show you one of my guest's photos that he took of a little owl getting a robin. It's a little bit brutal, but it was incredible to see. Maybe, just maybe, we'll get something like that today. We shall see. So whilst we've got the owl perched up nice and pretty, I'll demonstrate the different focal lengths that I can get with this lens. So here's 150mm, and then I'll zoom all the way into 400, and then use the built-in teleconverter. And I've still not got over just how far you can zoom in with this lens. It's beyond belief. I wonder whether I'll ever get bored of it. As I think I said in my last video, I'm quite intrigued to know whether there's any detrimental effects of using the teleconverter on the image quality. Currently, from the photos that I've looked at, not so much, but we'll see. I think as things start to hot up, and it is quite hot today and sunny, we might start seeing some heat haze, which you tend to get the longer the focal length, the more that atmospheric conditions can affect your photos. So yeah, we'll test that today as well. So I've just put some worms out, although now it seems that the bloody hell, the blackbird's just taken 3. It looks like the great tit's about to have a go. So we'll see whether either Mr. Little Owl is hungry or whether Mrs. Little Owl is gonna tell him to bring back food for her and her chicks. I'm hoping to try and nail some shots of the little owl in flight. Easier said than done, but it would be lovely if I did, wouldn't it? So, still no owls, so I've been concentrating for the last 15 minutes on photographing the starlings, and it's lovely to see because we've got some juveniles that are getting fed by their parents, and although they seem bigger than their parents, they're still adamant that they want to get fed. So it's been nice to get some interaction between them. And I think just in the right period of time where the light's not too harsh, and it still looks lovely and warm. But that's not what we're here for. Come on, little owls, make an appearance. Well, we've had the little owl come in for the worms, but I don't think it's got a shout off its partner yet, because it just came in, ate all the worms itself, and then stopped. I'm currently looking at the owl perched up. There's worms down for it, but it's just chilling. I've been sort of poised, ready to get it in flight, but it doesn't seem overly interested in getting worms at the moment, so gives a bit of chance just to get a bit of footage, observe the beautiful bird, and wait for it to get that call from his missus. Oi, bring in some food. Once that happens, you should be getting quite a lot of opportunities. Well, possibly the reason he's not coming down for worms is, as I think I mentioned earlier, his fixation at the moment with catching birds. He's just done one flight to try and catch a bird, as has been the case for the last few days. The vast majority of his flights to try and grab a bird fail. In fact, most of the time it looks like he's got no hope whatsoever, but he's proven me wrong 2 out of the last 3 days and caught one. So yeah, it would be quite brutal to photograph, but it would also be quite interesting, so we'll see. What happened yesterday was he spent about 2 hours trying to catch birds and then gave up and just absolutely demolished my stash of Morio worms. We'll see what happens today. Well, we're not getting the usual behaviour this morning. It's basically not been feeding the chicks at all. I'm thinking that any moment now it should start pretty relentlessly coming in for worms, because by my account I don't think he's been to the box to feed the chicks once this morning. We've been here nearly 2.5 hours. He did take a worm and head back to the barn, but didn't go to the box. It did lead to me getting quite a nice series of photos of him flying in from inside the barn out onto a perch that's just outside of the doorway, so that's quite nice. But in terms of trying to get birds in flight shots, not had much luck. I'm starting to get increasingly annoyed with all the other birds that are taking advantage of the absolute feast of Morio worms that I'm putting out every 20 minutes. This owl needs to buck its ideas up. Well, we're witnessing some very strange behaviour. He's almost not coming in for worms at all. And every time he does go back with worms, it's because he's mobbed a blackbird that has got the worms, and then he goes to the blackbird, takes the worms from the blackbird, and then brings it back to the female. Oh, as I say that, he's flown straight down onto the worms. Brilliant timing. Well, it seems I may not get to show you all the shots of this little owl in flight that I wanted to, because it's displaying some very strange behaviour. I know on the last bit to camera it had eventually flown down to get worms, but it took about 2, and then that's been about it ever since. It's not the behaviour that I've been seeing over the last week of me running these workshops. It has been interesting to see, because every single time he grabs a worm, he goes back up to the box and is passing it to the female, for then the female to either eat herself or take into the box to, I imagine, feed the chicks. But he's just not seemingly overly interested in food this morning, which, yeah, is not what I've been seeing over the last week. Strange morning. I'm hoping, well, we've got 20 minutes left in the hide. He may start exhibiting some of the behaviour I'm used to and start flying into the worms, back into the box, back onto the worms, back into the box. So if that is the case, then of course I will show you. And I may get a chance to do some of my own photography at another point this week. So if I do end up getting any further birds in flight shots, then I will be showing you that. But yeah, we'll give it another 20 minutes and then I'll have to say goodbye. Fingers crossed for the next 20 minutes. Well, we've called it a day now. Very strange behaviour. Not the video I thought I was going to bring you today. I mean, it's been fascinating to see, but yeah, no urgency at all to get food, which makes me think maybe the male had caught a bird before we'd arrived. I mean, the male was out pretty much the whole time we were there. Just yeah, no apparent need or want to come in and get worms. So there you go. This is nature after all. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.